This one's for my new teachers and or student teachers who are gonna be teachers and gonna be great. This is my 10th year teaching. By no means am I perfect, but I do have some advice for you that I wish someone would have told me when I was young and new. My first official year of teaching, after I was a 0.6 long-term sub, I remember waking up at like 5 in the morning, working, and then going home and lesson planning and continuing to work till about like 10 or 11 at night, falling asleep, waking up and do it again. And by December, I was burnt out. I was having like almost anxiety attacks. I felt overwhelmed. There was a sense of fear of failure, that I wasn't going to do a good job or I wasn't currently doing a good job. I experienced constant anxiety over finishing a lesson. So again, going home, doing the lesson, waking up the next day, having to give the lesson, and then when the day's over, there's that sigh of relief like, all right, but then you realize like, okay, well tomorrow is happening, so what am I doing tomorrow? And it never ended, right? I felt so overwhelmed and had anxiety. And I'm a generally mellow person. How I communicate this to people that don't teach is, imagine you have to give 2 to 3 60-minute presentations in the day, and like obviously some presentations you're repeating every single day. Like that is what a teacher does. Now you're not ideally just standing up there talking the whole time, but you still have to have a plan and a presentation, about 2 or 3 depending on how many classes you teach, every single day, and most likely to an audience that most of them either don't want to be there or are somewhat apathetic. And then during the school day, the anxieties of classroom management, trying to figure out my philosophy, how my philosophy applies, lesson planning in that tiny window that you get, which is not nearly enough time, plus all these assignments start to pack up and pile up that I have to grade. It becomes incredibly overwhelming, and you're probably going to be overwhelmed. But like, that's okay. Here's my advice to you. The locus of control. Let's say in the center, this is you, then your classroom, then your hallway, your department, your building, your district, your state, right? So we have like the locus of control. In the center is you. What you need to establish regarding control is first yourself. Now, what does that entail? You need to control and have control of your organization skills. You need to have control of the lessons that you're making. You need to have control of your emotional response to all of the things that are going on. If you immediately put pressure and feel like I have to have mastery over the entire classroom, you are going to have more anxiety. First, focus on controlling yourself. That doesn't mean be perfect at all, but like controlling your ability again to organize and like become more efficient at making lessons. Your ability to implement the lessons. Even if the students are not responding well, are you able to plan the lesson and then implement it? If so, that's a win. Like celebrate the little wins. Focus on your emotional response when things are not going as you want. Kids are a little rude. Like, are you getting angry? Are you getting sad? Start to focus on that. Once you have control of that, then you can start to move to the classroom. And you don't have to have the whole classroom all at once. You can start to focus on like maybe the problem kids and then build out. This is my 10th year and I'm just beginning to like enter into influencing the department and the building. I can't effectively do that unless I have control of myself, control of the classroom. Focus on the little things, celebrate the little things. Second piece of advice, you have to work hard. Like you might not be doing the whole 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. like I was doing, but like the first few years is going to be difficult and you have to put in work. Once you establish a foundation, it's going to get easier. Like I don't really bring stuff home anymore, because I don't just like repeat everything that I've done. I make changes, I make revisions, I'll try some new things, but like your first few years, you're probably building from scratch and you have to put in the work. Third piece of advice, probably connected to number 2, let go of perfection or your perception that you need to be perfect. Not every lesson that you give is going to be the greatest lesson of all time. You have to come to terms with good enough is good enough. Is it going to accomplish what we need to do today? And then start to focus on like, okay, what went well, what didn't go well, and make some adjustments. But like, you can't expect everything to be perfect. The reason why I was staying up till 11 o'clock at night is I would like do something, it's like, I already know it's not gonna work, and like critique everything. Well, it's like, it's not gonna be perfect. Like, yeah, you're gonna struggle, I still struggle. You don't have to be perfect. By letting go of perfection, you reduce anxiety and you accept like, okay, and this is, I said this in another video. Are you trying? Do you care about the students? If that is the case, you're on the right track. Let go of perfection. It's going to reduce your anxiety. Just, is this a lesson that I can do? I'm going to do it. I'm going to accept what it is, and then tomorrow I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to try to get better, thinking about the locus of control. Finally, advice for some student teachers. You need to work hard, obviously. Think about having 2 to 3 lessons that truly represent you as a teacher, because that's the things you're going to be bringing up. Those are the things you're going to be bringing up in the interview. You're going to reference all right, well, this is something that I did. You can't do it every single day, but you're going to have to take some chances and try 2 to 3 really good things and then be able to use that in reference in your interviews. If you have questions about student teaching or interviews or whatever else, I'd be happy to answer that. Please give me questions in the comment section. Anything you want me to talk about. I'm going to start doing more how to build a lesson plan, assessments, whatever else. But if there's something you guys want me to talk about, I'll gladly talk about it. Good luck out there.